Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weather on the Go's weather forecast. Hope everybody had a great weekend out there and good Monday morning to everybody. I did take Sunday off from the weather forecast yesterday, but I am back here this week to talk to you guys about severe weather and a heat wave upcoming here this week as well as your August weather forecast here, as well as we are on August 1st now, guys, Monday, August 1st. So I'll be giving you your August weather forecast here in this video as well. Guys, if you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, definitely press the subscribe button down below here. Definitely much appreciated. Our goal is still 500 subscribers, so guys, please hit the subscribe button. Much appreciated, guys. Definitely, like I said, we're trying to grow this channel, guys, and I couldn't do it without you guys. So definitely kind of an appreciation post as well, guys. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for liking my videos and kind of sharing kind of my videos as well. Definitely much appreciated. So looking ahead here to this afternoon, we definitely have the ridge of high pressure centered across portions of the four corners here into North Texas, and along the northern periphery of that, we're going to have some mid-level disturbances kind of moving through as well. Before that, yeah, we have a lot of heat out there, guys. We got lower 100s from portions there of Montana all the way down through portions there of Rapid City, all the way down here into Texas as well. Some of the heat kind of lingering across portions of the Intermountain West and the West Coast as well here. Some refreshing temperatures, however, across the Arrowhead of Minnesota, much of Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, getting into parts of the Northeast. Kind of some typical summer-like weather, if not kind of unseasonably cool temperatures across some of these regions with some lower 80s out there, even some mid 70s across northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, and the Arrowhead of Minnesota. Kind of some refreshing air across your area this afternoon here on your Monday, August 1st. We also will be watching a cold front. A cold front will be dropping south here across portions of the Illinois Valley and especially the Ohio Valley here as we head into later on this afternoon. Peak heating time of day, and that's why the Storm Prediction Center has gone ahead and upgraded this area to a slight risk for severe weather across southern Ohio, much of Kentucky, as well as southern Indiana here as we head to late this afternoon, and then a larger marginal risk here extending up into portions of Detroit, Lansing, Michigan, getting over towards the Toledo area, and then getting up toward portions there of western Pennsylvania, including Pittsburgh, down through the Charleston, West Virginia area, and even perhaps into northern Tennessee here as well. St. Louis in the mix, Carbondale, Illinois, Paducah, Kentucky, all these areas in that marginal risk, even another marginal risk across portions of east central Nebraska as we head to later on today as well. Looking kind of at the individual hazards out there, yeah, we have that 5 to 15% chance of some damaging winds out there in that marginal to slight risk zone where you see that 15% shading. That's a slight risk for damaging winds across southern Indiana, portions of southern Ohio, and much of Kentucky. And then in that 5% area here, that's a marginal chance of some damaging winds across those areas. A little bit lower of a threat for hail here, and I'll explain why here in just a moment. But yeah, the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting just a 5% chance of some hail here across east central Nebraska and as well as the Ohio Valley. There is also a 2% chance here of tornadoes. An isolated tornado or two is possible across southern portions of Ohio, southern Indiana, as well as northern Kentucky here near the Louisville area, into portions just south of Indianapolis, and then getting up towards Cincinnati as we kind of move into later on this afternoon and early this evening. So let's kind of look at the setup here for what we how we got here on kind of like what we can expect for severe weather later on today. Looking at kind of the dew points, that lower level moisture out there, yeah, we got dew points rising into the middle 70s across many of these zones across southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and southwestern portions there of Ohio. Even some lower to middle 70 dew points getting down through much of Kentucky as well, and that will feed into the instability. We have a lot of instability, what we call CAPE, convective available potential energy. And when you see the oranges here, the oranges or the reds, that's 2,500 to 3,500 joules per kilogram. But up here across southeastern Illinois, southwestern portions there of Indiana, yeah, we're talking about 4,500 joules per kilogram locally instability across these areas here. So that will support some strong to severe weather later on today as well. Looking at some other dynamics as well, we have some, we do have some wind shear, but it's not, overly strong. I'm not too worried about a huge, derecho or anything crazy like that. But we are going to see some storm organization here as we head through the evening hours with some wind shear overlapping some of the stronger instability around 25 to 35 knots. Nothing too crazy out there. The instability department, and even the lapse rates are not very strong as well. The cooler as you go up in the atmosphere will support that large hail risk, but we really don't see those really strong lapse rates here. Those will kind of remain farther displaced off to the west across southwestern Iowa and much of the Missouri Valley. So we're really only seeing 5 to maybe 6 degrees Celsius per kilometer, kind of the temperatures that cool aloft as you go up in the atmosphere. So that's kind of why we're really not seeing that large hail risk here later on today. So let's look at the composite reflectivity using the HRRR model. We got some isolated to widely scattered showers and storms developing from portions of Lake Erie all the way down through portions of central Ohio, perhaps a couple storms into southern Indiana here as we get into the late afternoon hours, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon central time. And then as we kind of get into the early evening hours here, 5, 6, 7 o'clock time frame, around the dinner time frame, across northern Kentucky, southern portions of Ohio, and southern portions of Indiana, and then kind of extending over towards the Pittsburgh area, Charleston, West Virginia. Watch out for some strong to severe storm potential as well. Maybe even some stronger storms here kind of firing up in isolated fashion across the Evansville, Indiana area, Carbondale, Mount Vernon, getting down toward the Paducah, Kentucky area as well into the early evening hours. Then what we'll be seeing as we get into the overnight hours is kind of an MCS or mesoscale convective system kind of growing upscale and kind of propagating more to the south, if not the south-southwest. It'll kind of backbuild a little bit down into portions of western and central Kentucky. Again, I know these areas don't need more rainfall, and unfortunately we're going to see more rain here as we head into the overnight hours. Again, some heavy rainfall, torrential rainfall is possible. Again, flash flooding is also a possibility as we have saturated soils in a lot of these areas into central and eastern Kentucky especially. So this won't take a lot of rainfall to create more of that, flash flooding potential across these areas. Even though we're not talking about some extremely heavy rainfall amounts, we still are seeing rainfall amounts in those same areas, central and eastern Kentucky, getting up to around a half an inch, if not up to an inch of rain in some of the heavier thunderstorms. So even that could cause some flash flooding, again, with all those saturated soils. But nonetheless here, even down into Tennessee, into portions near Chattanooga, portions of Knoxville, Nashville, Crossville, Tennessee, we're talking about rainfall amounts averaging around half inch to an inch plus of rain there. The monsoon weather is going to be going strong as well across the southwestern United States here from Nevada all the way down through the Four Corners here with some sporadic rainfall there as well, and then some rainfall here across the Gulf Coast here with some tropical influence to that as well. As we kind of move into your Tuesday, though, we still got that elongated area of that ridge of high pressure is kind of centered across the southern United States. We got that zonal flow across the northern United States here as well, and we do got a couple systems kind of rounding the ridge here as we kind of move into the middle of the week, and we'll outline that here in just a moment. But look at the temperatures, guys, on Tuesday. It's going to be really toasty here from portions of the Dakotas all the way southward to Texas here. 101 degrees in Rapid City, 105 into southern South Dakota, 104 in Omaha, Nebraska, 100 degrees in Lincoln, Nebraska here, 104 in Wichita Falls, 102 in Dallas-Fort Worth, and even 90 degrees here getting up toward the portions just north and east of the St. Louis area towards Springfield, Illinois as well as we head into that Tuesday, August 2nd time frame. We're kind of watching another storm system here. This is going to bring kind of a warm sector here with that warm front moving to the northeast across the Midwest here, the upper Midwest, with a cold front starting to drop south out of Canada here into portions of the northern plains and the upper Midwest as we head into Tuesday afternoon. And that will provide the focus for some showers and storms that could become severe as we head into Tuesday afternoon and evening. The Storm Prediction Center's Day 2 outlook does highlight a slight risk of severe weather across northern and northwestern Wisconsin and far eastern Minnesota, as well as that marginal risk extending down here into portions of northwestern Illinois, southern and southwestern Wisconsin, and northeastern Iowa, places like Madison, Wisconsin here, Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, Dubuque, Iowa, Rockford, Illinois, getting back toward the Cedar Rapids area. We could be talking about a marginal risk here for some severe weather as we head into later on, into your Tuesday afternoon. But in that slight risk area, the Duluth, Minnesota, getting up toward Rhinelander, Wisconsin, just north of La Crosse, Wisconsin, that's where we could expect some of those stronger, more organized severe weather potential as we head to later on Tuesday as well. Looking at the individual kind of hazards with the storms, Yeah, we still have that 5 to 15% shading there of marginal to slight risk for some, damaging winds out there that could be up to around 60, perhaps 65 miles per hour at the strongest. And again, we do have that threat for some large hail at that 5 to 15% chance for hail. That could be up to around, an inch in diameter or thereabout as well. But we aren't really talking about too much of a tornado risk. That is less than 2% here across all areas across the United States. I do think the potential is there for maybe an upgrade to a 2% area here across northwestern Wisconsin, especially in the later outlooks that the Storm Prediction Center does put out. We'll see if that does occur. Again, I do not work for the Storm Prediction Center, but we do see the potential, I think, with looking at the weather forecast models that, yeah, there could be a 2% area added. So we'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does in their later outlooks. But looking kind of at the setup for this, yeah, we do have mid 60s to even low 70 dew points rising all the way to the north here across Minnesota and parts of the western Great Lakes. And we do have some pretty strong instability, some moderate to locally strong instability, especially as you get down here into portions of the middle Mississippi Valley, towards portions, of Iowa, southern and southeastern Minnesota. That's where the strongest instability will be. But yeah, we still have some moderate instability here in the yellow across portions of northwestern Wisconsin and eastern Minnesota, kind of on the order of 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram. So still some pretty, appreciable instability to get these air parcels to rise and you really get those strong, tall updrafts. And we are seeing some wind shear, a lot stronger wind shear on your Tuesday than you saw on Monday down in the Ohio Valley, kind of overlapping some of this instability. So I do actually think Tuesday we could have actually some stronger storms than what we see here on your day today, on your Monday down in the Ohio Valley, just kind of due to this overlap of the stronger instability and the stronger wind shear. And we also will have very, robust lapse rates. We'll actually have lapse rates here steepening to around 7 to 7.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. So we actually have stronger cooling aloft here that will allow for those stronger, taller updrafts, 40, 50,000 feet. So we'll definitely have to watch out for that potential here, and that kind of will lead to the potential of some larger hail. So looking at the composite reflectivity here as we move into later on Tuesday afternoon to, 3, 4 o'clock time frame, maybe some isolated storms popping up across the UP of Michigan, down through northwestern Wisconsin. We do have to watch all these individual cells for the potential for some large hail, some damaging winds, and yes, I cannot rule out a brief isolated tornado. However, the tornado risk is really not that big of a deal, I don't think, here on your Tuesday. Again, like I said, I won't be surprised if there's a 2% area added across northwestern Wisconsin from the Storm Prediction Center and their newest outlooks coming up here in the next day or so. But again, I'm not really thinking that it's going to get much above that if that is added. So we'll continue to watch that. But as we get into the early evening hours, the HRRR model really doesn't get too excited about the severe weather potential across northwestern Wisconsin. Other models bring a line of storms through the area, so we'll just have to keep an eye on this here. Again, we'll continue to watch this. Again, the cold front back to the west could provide some threat for some severe weather propagating eastward into the overnight hours across these areas, so we'll continue to watch that here in the days to come. Even as we get into Wednesday, we still have that same type of signal in the pattern. We got that high pressure system with that ridge across the four corners. We got kind of that zonal to quasi-zonal kind of, upper level flow across the northern plains, the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region. We got a stronger upper level trough across well up into central Canada, the kind of steering this flow from the west-northwest across the northern United States. Yeah, we'll still have that heat out there, guys, as we head into Wednesday, August 3rd, guys. Yeah, a lot of 100s across Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas here. I know it is just relentless heat down there, and that will just continue as we head to, the Wednesday time frame. Even Chicago, guys, 94, mid-90s on Wednesday, 92 up toward Rockford, Illinois, 92 in Milwaukee, 93 in Detroit, 97 in St. Louis, and 92 in Des Moines. So, yeah, we're talking about some heat expanding up into the Great Lakes and the mid-Mississippi Valley, even as we head towards the middle of the week. And again, that is ahead of a cold front here that could provide the threat maybe for some severe weather on Wednesday as it travels from the upper Midwest all the way southward toward the southern Great Lakes as we get into Thursday morning, with the potential for some strong to severe storms ahead, along and ahead of that cold front as it moves through the Great Lakes region here on Wednesday. Looking at the setup here on Wednesday, yeah, there's some pretty strong instability showing up here. This is the NAM model, and yeah, we're seeing some strong instability here near Chicago, up to around 4,000 joules per kilogram in the purple, the purple shading areas. The red areas and even the oranges are still, 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram into central Wisconsin, northwestern Illinois, and down towards portions of Missouri. Some pretty strong instability even into lower Michigan as well, up to around 4,000 to 4,500 joules per kilogram, developing developing later on Wednesday afternoon ahead of that cold front as well. Again, we are seeing some moderate shear values, especially back into Iowa, getting into southern Wisconsin. So we do have to watch along and ahead of the cold front. Again, we're not talking about probably any, really high-end severe weather threat, but we do have to kind of watch to the sky and say we could have some scattered, storms that could produce the potential for some damaging winds, some large hail, and again, maybe even a brief isolated tornado. But I do think the large hail and the damaging winds will kind of be the most, dominant hazard from the storms across these areas on Wednesday. We're not seeing too much in the way here of the lapse rate steepening too much, maybe around 6 to 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. So I think overall, the damaging wind risk will probably be the primary threat, followed by large hail, followed by an isolated brief tornado. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And this is kind of the thinking from the NAM model. Again, we're seeing that line of storms that will develop across portions of the Great Lakes back toward the middle Missouri Valley. These will propagate to the south with kind of a squall line across portions of lower Michigan, getting into northern Illinois here with some higher returns of some heavier rainfall as well. So not only will you be seeing the threat for large hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes, but you could also see some torrential rains and maybe some isolated flash flooding across portions of the Illinois Valley, getting back up into the portions of the Great Lakes as we head later here on your Wednesday afternoon and evening. And then this will kind of propagate its way to the south here with kind of an MCS cluster, kind of a mesoscale convective system, dropping south across portions of the Illinois Valley, getting down towards the Peoria area, Springfield, Illinois, St. Louis, and then getting over toward Indianapolis as well, Detroit, Toronto. Some of these areas could be impacted by some strong to severe weather overnight into your Thursday morning. As we get toward the late week, as we get toward Thursday evening, we'll really start to see this ridge start to move a little bit more to the east towards the central plains, and this will really open the door to more heat kind of expanding eastward as well, and that will really continue even as we head into Friday, August 5th. That ridge will be centered across Kansas, the Texas Panhandle, and a lot of these areas are going to be right under the center of that ridge, so that's where the strongest heating will be. And here's what the temperatures will look like here as we get toward Thursday, August 4th. Yeah, we still have those 100 down in Texas, all the way up here to Montana, and that will just continue to kind of expand eastward toward that Friday, August 5th time frame here as we get to the end of the week. And kind of, looking at the Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day temperature outlook here from August 6th through August 10th here, starting next Saturday. And yeah, we're still seeing likely to, if not certainly, above average temperatures across the Midwest, the central and northern plains, all the way over towards the New England region, the Ohio Valley. But underneath the, those areas with kind of the monsoonal rainfall, you can expect below normal temperatures being slightly favored there. And look at Alaska, guys. Alaska is well below normal, and that's because they have a stronger upper level trough kind of diving into the portions of the Aleutian Islands and up there into British Columbia. That'll actually provide for cooler than normal temperatures in Alaska, and that's actually kind of helping out with this ridge becoming more amplified across portions of the United States during this August 6th through 10th time frame. And underneath that ridge, as you guys well know, we're not seeing much in the way of rainfall here. Below normal precipitation favored across much of the central northern plains, the upper Midwest, towards portions there of the Great Lakes. But off to the west, guys, that monsoon season is going to be really heating up. We have likely above normal precipitation, perhaps well above normal precipitation across much of Nevada, getting into Utah, and getting into much of the western United States. Even a signal, guys, from August 6th through the 10th of maybe some above normal precipitation here along and south of DFW here at Dallas-Fort Worth, Texarkana here, and especially into south central Texas. There is a signal for some above normal precipitation there as well, getting down toward Austin and getting down toward portions of Houston, Corpus Christi, and all these areas that are just desperately needing the rainfall. Could get some rainfall as we get into that second week in August here, so we'll continue to watch that as well. Near normal precipitation across the eastern U.S. at that time. Let's look at August, guys. This is kind of, since it's August 1st, let's kind of look at the monthly outlook here for temperatures. And yeah, generally it's going to be a pretty warm August. It's going to be pretty hot across much of these areas that have been hot all summer long, from Texas all the way up into portions of the Dakotas, back to the west here across California, Nevada, and even into the I-95 corridor and across the New England region as well. But again, underneath those monsoonal areas, you can expect slightly below normal temperatures going through August as well across Arizona, portions there of Utah, getting into Colorado, and portions of New Mexico as well. And as long as we have those upper level troughs kind of, moving across portions of the Aleutian Islands, British Columbia, and then up toward portions of Alaska there, you can expect kind of equal chances of above or below normal temperatures for much of Alaska, with even some slightly below normal temperatures favored there for August as well. And even looking at the precipitation anomalies here for August, much of the center of the country is going to be pretty dry. Unfortunately, most of the center of the country is going to be pretty dry. It looks like the eastern side of the U.S. here, from portions of the Mid-Atlantic down toward the Carolinas, slightly above normal precipitation. That could be tropical kind of influence as well. So we might have to watch this as we get a little bit farther into August. And then that big footprint there of above normal precipitation from portions of Idaho down through Utah, much of the Rockies, getting down here into the Arizona, New Mexico, above normal precipitation there as well as southeastern Alaska, above normal precipitation going through August as well, kind of with that monsoonal weather across the southwestern United States, and then association with those upper level troughs across Alaska, you can expect some precipitation there as well. Thank you guys for watching my video. Again, I'll have more updates probably on the tropics a little bit later on today or tomorrow in my new video. Again, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like my video, give me a thumbs up down below, leave any comments, questions, concerns below. I always enjoy reading those and answering your questions. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Like I said, we're trying to get to 500 subscribers. Please help out, guys. We only need here just about 20 to 25 more subscribers to hit our goal of 500. So please help out and just press that subscribe button down below, and it is much appreciated. Thank you for joining, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend, and I hope everybody has a great week ahead, and more importantly, an awesome Monday. Everybody, thank you for joining, and see you on the next video here tomorrow.